am at the Green Mountain Lookout on the Magruder / Nez Perce Trail. The Magruder Trail is what I'm here to tackle. I'm kind of a little bit confused. I think one side is the Nez Perce Trail and then Magruder is the whole thing. I don't know. All I know is this. It's another beautiful day. It's real hazy and smoky in the distance. Obviously there's a fire somewhere to the west of us. It's just kind of hard to tell exactly where it's coming from. It's been kind of smoking on and off. Some days it's worse. I think this is about as bad as I've seen it. I mean, not that it's really that bad. It looks like this in Alabama, in the south every day. So you can't see more than 20 miles on a hazy, humid day, and that's kind of what it looks like here. But out here, you can see for 75, 80 miles on good days. Unfortunately, it's not one of those days. It still wound up being an awesome day of riding, despite the lack of visibility. And when I stopped at Poet Creek to fill my water bottle, I met this guy, Sam. I believe he was from Arkansas, and we were traveling in the same direction, and he wanted to tag along, so I let him. This is him coming up the hill from Poet Creek, and we decided to take a slight detour since I'm a lookout fire tower guy, and we went up to Burnt Knob Lookout, which turned out to be a little bit hairier than expected, and poor old Sam wound up running into a spear and falling off the bike and breaking his clutch lever. This is by far the coolest lookout fire tower I have seen. This is Burnt Knob on the Magruder Trail. And I didn't expect anything that's perched on top of a pile of freaking rocks like this. This is just completely badass. Doesn't have a walk around, but I bet it probably did at one time. Then it just started kind of falling apart. And it's so rugged getting up here that that they probably just gave up. I bet they drove a mule team up here back in the 20s or the teens or whenever the hell they built the first one. This may be the first one. Holy shit, there's a lake down there. Burnt Knob Lakes, I think, is what they call that. Yep, there's a couple more than two. I wonder what kind of fish are in there. I wonder if this thing's gonna collapse under. Oh wait, ooh, wow, that's kind of a scary. Oh shit, there's all kinds of ants, termites. They're termites walking around like ants. Yeah, I think this place has seen this better day. Wow. I'm not even sure I want to go in here. But it's cool as fuck. Cool as fuck. Wow. Yeah, going down now may be the hard part. I guess these are skeeters up here too. Wow, I better get down before they eat me up. My new spontaneous riding buddy, Sam, I probably mistakenly encouraged him to take this trail up. It's a little bit more rugged than probably he's used to. And I call them spears. They're tree limbs or trees or things that have fallen onto the trails that are sticking out that will spear you as you go by. And I'm usually quite aware of them. I think he probably saw this, but his bags clipped one of them and pushed him down. He was going pretty slow. I mean, I think he's probably only going 5 miles an hour. It could have been really bad if he'd have been going any faster than that. But he clipped it with his bag and went down and broke his clutch lever. So I'm kind of feeling guilty about spending any more time up here. I told him I'd come back down and check on him. And shit like I'm fixing to hit this freaking... Yeah, you gotta be on your game when you come into this corner. You can't just be asleep and go, whoa! Because it'll put you at least on your ass, and maybe out in the woods where nobody can find you. And you know, it's all about finding my dead body when it comes down to it. So I'm at the location of an old fire tower, but all I can find are some, looks like some foundation remnants. And the weather's getting really sketchy. It's cold as shit up here. And I can't think of the name of the fire tower even. But beautiful up here, but the rain that I was expecting and hoping for looks like it's arrived, and I have nothing. I've just got mesh gear on. That's all I've got. Underwear, mesh gear. So I think I'm either gonna turn right at the bottom of the hill and go, well, geez, it looks like it's getting worse that way. That's the direction I came from, and that's all rain right there. That's looks more like smoke, but that's rain, and I would have to head back into that to get back to where I came from. Or I can head that way, which looks even worse, to a place called McGruder. I think it's another town like Dixie. I just rode through Dixie. Well, maybe Dixie's the answer. Dixie's a lot closer, and there's places there that are empty, and I can get under shelter there. So maybe I'm just gonna head back to the Dixie guard station. It's a whole village that's kind of abandoned in the non-burning fire season, and hopefully I don't get too wet before I get there. So it started raining pretty good up there on the fire tower, but one of the missions today, I forgot to mention, one of the missions, that's some lightning, ain't it? And I'm on top of a ridge. I was on top of a mountain earlier, and it was fairly bald, and that's the other reason I split it. You know, there was no shelter, number one, and number two, I was a prime candidate for a lightning strike. But what a great day. The greatest part is I got a tip from Sam, the buddy I met yesterday. I said I'm in search of huckleberries. I have yet to be able to find any on my own. I've seen people picking them, and I didn't want to invade their patch. But that was in Montana. I have yet to see any huckleberries in Idaho. In fact, I went up into Canada, and the lady said they just aren't there. Nobody can find them. They don't have any huckleberries up there. So she had every fruit stand up there. She had every fruit available in the Rockies except huckleberries. So the most interesting thing about huckleberries is they're going for $50 a gallon. They grow wild all over the place. It's just I haven't been able to find the spot yet. The spot where, you know, it's not a handful of huckleberries. I want to fill up a Ziploc bag and make some huckleberry pancakes and maybe throw some on some trout. And maybe even try a few more recipes. But huckleberries are big here. And my buddy Sam said, go to McGruder. He said it was just outside of Dixie, but it's way outside of Dixie on the other side. And I think I made it about 10 miles from McKay. But on my way back to find shelter in the Dixie guard station, I found a patch of huckleberries, and it looks like they're on both sides of the road. But I'm gonna pick the shit out of these huckleberries before I get wet. Let me give you some close-up of what they actually look like. I've never seen them this close to the road. Usually they're up on a hillside. And that's what huckleberries look like. After about 30 minutes of picking, it's a little bit harder than I thought. The fruits don't come off as easily as you'd think, and they're very small. The key I think I have found is to find big plentiful bushes rather than the ones that have, 10, 15 of them. Try to find the ones that have 50 on them. That way you can just pick with both hands, put your sack down, and just drop them in the sack when you get done. But after about 30 minutes of picking, I got about a cupful. I'm guessing that's why huckleberries are so expensive, because they are difficult to pick. I mean, I'm sure it's probably not as bad as picking cotton, but... The following morning, I started my day with huckleberry pancakes, which were outstanding and were a key success factor for the Magruder Corridor. So it's day 3 in the Nez Perce. The first real attempt that I've made to cross the Magruder Corridor. And of course I picked the shittiest day yet. I mean, it rained yesterday, but I don't think I think it rained hard for maybe 20-30 minutes. And then it was nice. It was nice before. It was cold and till mid-morning. And then it rained, I don't know, sometime afternoon, closer to 2. And I think I've seen some parts where it puddled up pretty good. So I think it was pretty hard rain, but less than 30 minutes of thunderstorms. But I left out this morning at 8:30, hoping to cross the Magruder Corridor in 3 hours. My plan was to blaze across and then take my time on the way back. That way I didn't have to actually tackle going there and worry about getting back after dark and all that horse shit. But anyway, I picked the wrong day because it's shitty as hell. It's freezing fucking cold. I think it's almost 40 degrees out here. So I had to stop and layer up. I had a waterproof jacket on, but I didn't put my sweater on, and it just got colder and colder. I was gonna man up and ride with my mesh pants and no sweater, but I packed them in the bag just in case it get cold or wet, and it did both. And it's not even 10 o'clock, I don't think. It is quarter after, no hell. Damn, it's 10:30. It's 10:30, so I've been riding for 2 hours, and I think I'm close to halfway. So obviously my 3-hour thing is not gonna work, because I've already had 3 pit stops. Got something in my eye, still have something in my eye. Damn it. Had 3 pit stops, and one of them was a baggage check. I almost lost my bag in the back, but I think I got that figured out. Just gonna layer up here again, get back on. Looks like the rain slowed down enough. The only thing I'm worried about at this point is my gloves. My gloves are wet already, and my hands were cold before they got wet, so it's a concern. But I'm not gonna freeze to death with my hands. It's just gonna be very painful. So. But I gotta show you just a little bit about, I mean, it looks like the smoke's gotta be clearing up, because you can see just as far, and it's a rainy day. So I'm thinking maybe the good side is, well, several good sides. The rain is what I was hoping for yesterday, to soak the road so there's no dust, and maybe run some of the four-wheelers and cars off. But it's definitely less traffic today. I've only passed two motorcycles. I passed 2 motorcycles today. I've passed 4 side-by-sides and maybe 4 cars, and I'm halfway, and that's really good for a Sunday, I think. Pack up, get back on the road, see if I can make the whole thing in 5 hours. It's probably going to turn out to be 6, because I'm going to have to stop again. My eye's bugging the shit out of me. After suiting back up, I rolled down the hill about a mile and ran into the Montana Conservation Corps. Pretty interesting group that I'd been meaning to talk to, and lucky for me, there were a couple of ladies inside the SUV, and they talked to me for a few minutes on camera. And for more information about the Conservation Corps, click the link.
My name's Brittany. I am the youth program coordinator for the Montana Conservation Corps in Missoula, Montana. And I guess essentially what that means is I manage and coordinate a program for youth. So in the heat of the summer, we will have 4 crews out, and they do a variety of things. They've been doing like clearing trails with crosscuts, which they're doing over there. So we have a group at Valley of the Moon, which is kind of up Rock Creek near Missoula, and they are tearing apart a bridge and punch-in so that they can eventually build a new one with the Forest Service. That's another thing. The main project partners we work with are the Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and you know, the other regions sometimes work with the national parks. Our Bozeman and Kalispell offices work with Yellowstone and Glacier.
Me and my co-lead N+5, we have 5 high schoolers. Every day I've been branching out from base camping, clearing and brushing, so we've been cross-cutting logs and fallen trees that have gotten in the way, clearing any saplings or shrubs or anything that could cause a pack bump. So like for the outfitters, their stuff gets jumbled or the horses can't. Pretty much just a way for the horses to get through.